do not. So I think we have a Muslim called Maverick. I'm going to let him into the chat. And, well, how you doing, Maverick?
Hello, Bob. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, thanks be to God. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Good. I hope you and your family are safe. Can you just confirm for us, please, that you are a Muslim?
I am, yes, but not the hadith following kind.
You're the what kind?
Quran only.
Okay, so let's just deal with it from a Quran-only basis. Now, I don't actually know where Quran-only Muslims stand on the idea of God entering into his creation. So do you want to just articulate the position of Quran-only Muslims?
Well, yeah, it's pretty simple. In terms of God's quote-unquote location, if we can use such a term, he is simply above his creation. So he's above the heavens and the earth.
Okay, can you just show us a verse from the Quran? Take me to a verse in the Quran that says in these words that Allah doesn't enter into his creation, or words to that effect.
There is no such words to that effect.
So if you're saying that you're Quran only, don't you have to agree with what the Quran teaches positively?
Yes, but what the Quran teaches positively is that he's above his creation. So
okay, go on. No, go on. Yeah,
so
he teaches that he's above his creation. Go on.
Yeah, so the idea that he needs to come into his creation is an assumption not found in the Quran.
Okay, so here's where I would dispute this. I would dispute it based upon Surah 67, 16, 17, and Surah 6:3, which clearly identify Allah as being in creation.
I don't remember those verses.
That's fine.
To heart right now, but could you?
Well, do you want to pull them up? Or? Yeah. Do you want to pull them up? Yeah.
Okay.
So in Surah
66.
Well, let's do Surah 6, Ayah 3.
One moment. Surah 66?
No, Surah 6, Ayah 3.
Oh, Surah 6, Ayah 3. My apologies.
And it would be interesting if there are any Hadith Muslims who want to come in on this, because part of my case is based upon the Hadiths. You're more than welcome to join the chat. So it says, and he is Allah in the heavens and on the earth. He knows what you conceal and what you reveal, and he knows what you earn. So he's being identified as being loci in the heavens and on the earth, that he is omnipresent. Do you believe that Allah is omnipresent?
Yes, of course. Well, it depends how you define that. Firstly, just to address this verse, it simply says that he's the God of the heavens and the earth. It doesn't say that he's present. He doesn't have to be present to be God of both creation, does he?
So it's identifying him as being in the heavens and on the earth. Do you believe that Allah is omnipresent?
No, actually, I just remembered what omnipresent means. No, he is omniscient, as in he has knowledge, but he doesn't need to be present.
Is his knowledge him?
Is his knowledge him?
Yeah.
No, his knowledge is an attribute of him.
So it's separate from him.
Well, it's not separate if it's an attribute, is it?
So it's part of him.
Well, see, when you say part, then you make God into divisions.
Well, this is the problem with. I know, Maverick, and I worded that question deliberately because there are all kinds of problems with Islamic theology, but I'm not trying to drill into Tawhid right now. I just wanted to tickle you on the question of Tawhid. But what I'm really drawing out, Maverick, is the fact that if we truly believe that Allah's knowledge is an essential part of whoever Allah is, regardless of what complications that presents later on down the line to Tawhid. Wait, if we accept the term God, we're talking about his knowledge. If we are saying that God's knowledge is everywhere, then we are saying that God is present in his creation?
I don't think that's fair, because you can have knowledge of something without necessarily being there. I don't see how you connect knowledge and presence. They're not necessarily interlinked.
So you're saying that, are you saying that this is connected to his, maybe I misunderstood your argument. Are you saying that Surah 6:3 is a connection to his knowledge?
No, Surah 6:3 is a connection to his divinity, as in he's simply the God of the earth and the heavens. But in
And he
terms
is
of,
Allah in the heavens. It's the in bit that I want you to address. Is he in the heavens or not?
well, the issue is the issue is we have to read it contextually, because if you read just a portion, then we can assume all sorts. But if you read the entire verse, then
Yep.
you have, and he is the God in the heavens and in the earth. He knows the secret, whether you declare it or whether you. So he knows your secret and what you declare, and he knows what you earn.
So that's about his knowledge,
That's
right?
simply talking about his.
That's about his knowledge, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So does he is his knowledge all encompassing?
Absolutely.
So does that mean that the whole of creation is inside the mind of Allah? It doesn't, does it? It means that his
Well,
knowledge encompasses all.
yeah, as in his knowledge, he knows of everything. There's nothing he does not know of.
Okay. So is his knowledge present here?
See, now you make knowledge into a person when you say, is knowledge present?
No, I'm saying is he aware? Is he cognitive?
Yes, he's always aware
he's
of
always aware.
everything.
He is present.
Of everything.
And does that presence this? So I mean, I want to drill
Where
in
we
a
jump
little
into
bit more.
presence.
No. Yeah, because we're talking about omnipresence, right? And what you're saying
No.
is that the God of the Quran is not omnipresent.
Yes, he's only his knowledge encompasses everything, but he does not need to be present everywhere.
Okay, right. We'll swing back around to this, because in Surah 67, 16, and 17.
Okay.
Now, were you here for the beginning of this presentation?
I heard a little bit.
Okay. I don't
caught
know
the
how
last
long
bit.
you caught the last bit. Okay, so I do appreciate you coming on and taking the time to speak with us. In Surah 67, 16, and 17, we got multiple different translations. I've already read them. Multiple different translations. This particular translation reads like this: do you feel secure that he who is over the heaven will not cause the earth to sink with you, and then it should quake? Or do you feel secure that he who is over the heaven will not send against you a violent whirlwind? Then you shall know how terrible has been my warning. But in other translations, it says in heaven. One translation even says in the sky. So the Quran is identifying Allah as being present in heaven. Do you agree that Allah is present in heaven?
Well, okay. I see the problem that you've noted there. This, if you take the in translation, then the question becomes, what is heaven? If you say heaven as in, the the sky that we know of, then obviously that would be an emphatic no. But if you say heaven in terms of paradise, or wherever the hereafter is, then perhaps. I
So
don't
my
necessarily
question to
see a
you,
problem with that.
my question to you is Allah in heaven?
Provided you do not translate heaven as the sky, I don't see that as necessarily problematic.
Great. tell me, did Allah create the heaven?
Again, yeah, okay, yeah, all right. Well, depending on how you, yeah, he created everything, yeah.
Okay, so if Allah created the heaven and Allah is in heaven, is it fair to say that Allah is in his creation?
Good point. Great point. Great point.
I don't think I'm being unfair, you know.
Well, no, you're not. You're not being unfair there at all. You're not being.
Right.
You're not being fair there at all.
So my point to you is the Quran is identifying that Allah is in creation, that creation can bear Allah's presence. So let me ask you this question: is
Mind
the
you, though,
heaven? Hold on. My
can I
second.
just? Yeah.
Go on. Go on.
The thing is, the way that Arabic works is that it always depends on the context. So the word "fi" can be in. Yes, it can be translated as in, but it can
Thank you.
also be translated as over. It can also be
Yep.
translated as afterwards, etc., etc. So words, every word in the Quran has to be basically determined by the context. So the context, even if you was to say that in this particular context, you could argue that in is fine. The thing with the Quran is you would have to get consistency with the rest of the Quran. So if the rest of the Quran says over, then this particular context has to be read as over.
Well, no, not necessarily. Firstly, the best way to do this is you compare multiple different translations by multiple different linguists and see how they translate it. Now, I've looked at a fourth one whilst you've been talking, and again it translates it. This is quranonline.net. Or do you feel secure? He who holds authority. Well, no, sorry, the authority is in brackets. So it's, or do you feel secure that he who in the heaven would not send against you a storm of stones? I mean, whirlwind, stones. It's sometimes wild the variance in translations. But
I hear you.
so the thing is, multiple translations are
But I don't think you
translating it
understood
as
me, bro.
in. Yeah, so
I
let's
don't think you
just work.
understood. In is not the problem. Hear what I'm saying. Just try and understand me. The in is not the problem. So what I'm saying is you can have it in this particular context that it could be in. You can have it that way. That's not a problem. But what I'm saying is the way the Arabic works and the way the Quran works is that if it's in the rest of the Quran, if it's translated as over, then you would have to be consistent and say that it has to be over. That's just the rule of what's
Well,
happening.
no, I don't agree. The way to settle it on a translation point is to compare lots of different translations and see how multiple linguists triangulate on this particular word, which is what I've been doing whilst you're talking. And consistently, what I'm getting is the word in. And so it isn't a case that if you find another verse that says Allah is over, because I'm willing to accept, Maverick, that Allah is both in the heaven and above the heaven. I'm willing to accept that Allah
Okay.
can be in heaven and above heaven. I don't see these as problematic. But now, if we agree that, because you did agree, Maverick, that Allah is in heaven, can I ask you this question? Two questions.
I entertained it. I'm not necessarily agree. I entertained it. I didn't see the problem until you pointed out for me.
Well, now that I've pointed it out, do you want to change your opinion? Do you want to say that when the Quran says Allah is in heaven, the Quran is wrong, he's not in heaven?
I'm not sure I necessarily have a problem with God being in heaven. I'm really not sure about that. So, well, I'll have to come back to you on that one. But you made a very great point. I'll give you that.
So now permit me to drill into it a little bit more. which is if
Okay.
Allah is in heaven. So I've got right, hold on. I've pulled up a fifth translation while you've been speaking. This is QuranExplorer.com, and again it uses the word "who is in heaven." So if Allah is in heaven, my two questions to you, Maverick, are this: one, are the heavens infinite? And two, are the heavens eternal?
Nothing can be eternal except, well, nothing can be infinite except the Creator Himself.
Right.
So
nothing is infinite except the Creator. So we're agreed. Yes. Nothing is infinite except the Creator, and nothing is eternal except the Creator. So would you agree that the Quran has identified Allah as being in heaven? And if Allah is being in heaven, and heaven is neither eternal nor infinite, then the infinite and the eternal has entered into the finite and the limited.
Well, that argument would have to follow, which is why I can't really. I'd have to give you that because it would have to follow. So, give me 1 minute. I need to read this verse. Give me
okay. Do you want to maybe come back a bit later? Shall I take you out for a moment?
Sorry.
Do you want to come out for a minute while you read and think?
All right. Say no more. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, guys, if Allah is in the heaven, the heaven is something that Allah created, and the Quran identifies as being Him loci in the heaven. But the heaven is not infinite and it's not eternal, which means that a finite temporal thing has contained the presence of Allah according to the Quran, logically. Now, I mean, I'd be interested to hear the answers of other kinds of Muslims, the Shia, the Sunni. But if Allah has, and so I've sent out the link again, and obviously, Maverick, you're more than welcome back. But if Allah has entered into the finite and the temporal, if he can, what difference does it make whether it's the greatest of the heavens? What is the greatest of the heavens compared to the infinite, eternal, almighty God? It's no bigger than a mother's womb.